Salvador is building the largest and most modern light rail system in Brazil. Just imagine an electric train gliding through the historic neighborhoods of Cidade Baixa, crossing the waterfront, connecting the once-forgotten suburbs to the heart of the capital of Bahia. A silent, comfortable, and sustainable means of transportation that promises to cut travel times and completely transform the region. For decades, a large part of the population relied on an outdated and poorly maintained railway system. After many years of promises, what seemed like just another abandoned project has finally come to life. Construction of the new light rail system has started, and we're not talking about a simple train line, but rather a state-of-the-art system with 36 kilometers of tracks, 34 stations, and technology used in major cities around the world. This is Construction Time. I'm Luciano Guimarães, and in this video, you'll learn everything about the largest light rail system in Brazil, which is being built in Salvador. The project was created to solve an urgent problem, the shutdown of the old suburban rail service, which served about 15,000 people a day but operated under precarious conditions. For this reason, the population of the suburban railway area has been without a rail alternative since 2021. In addition, Salvador faces chronic traffic jams and great inequality in access to quality transportation. Therefore, the LRT emerged as a modern, efficient, and inclusive response connecting the outskirts to urban centers with affordable fares, comfort, and accessibility for the population. More specifically, this project in Salvador is a monumental undertaking that promises to redefine urban mobility in the capital of Bahia. With approximately 36.4 kilometers of length and 34 stations, the system will be divided into 3 main sections, connecting historic neighborhoods, outlying areas, and expanding regions. To explain further, the project begins with Section 1, which will start at Ilha de São João in Chimocilho, and goes all the way to Calçada Station in the Cidade Baixa neighborhood. Along the route, the LRT will include 17 stops, 1 station, and 2 parking lots. Starting at Ilha de São João, then going to Olindina, Paripe, Coutos, Setúbal, Periperi, Praia Grande, Escada, Itacaranha, São Brás, Plataforma, São João, União, Lobato, Viaduto Suburbana, Santa Luzia, and Baixada do Fiscal, until reaching Calçada Station. Altogether, Section 1 will be approximately 16.66 kilometers long. In addition, Calçada Station will be revitalized, preserving its historical and architectural value, serving as an important connection point with other modes of transportation. Next, we have Section 2. This section connects the neighborhood of Paripe to the Águas Claras region, passing through strategic areas and promoting integration with the subway system. Altogether, this section will include 8 stops and a parking lot, starting at São Luís and then going to Base Naval via Bronze, Moema, Valença, Hospital do Subúrbio, Valéria, and ending at Águas Claras, totaling approximately 9.2 kilometers. In addition, the Águas Claras station will be a transfer point to the metro and will make it easier to travel to other parts of the city. And last but not least, we have Section 3, which will connect the Águas Claras area to the Piata neighborhood, passing through growing residential and commercial areas, with a total of 9 stops. Its route includes starting at Castelo Branco and then going to regional Cajazeiras, Alphaville, Barro da Paz, Solares, Senai, Piatã, and ending at the waterfront. This section will also be integrated with the subway system, expanding mobility options for users and covering a total length of approximately 10.52 kilometers. However, with all these kilometers, it's easy to imagine that the project represents a significant investment in the city's transportation infrastructure. Initially, the project was budgeted at 1.5 billion reais. The project went through revisions and adjustments, raising the total investment to more than 5 billion reais, according to the CTB. This increase is due to several factors, including changes in the route, environmental requirements, and the inclusion of new sections to better serve the entire population. In addition to modernizing public transportation, the VLT has created jobs and boosted the local economy. According to B News Bahia, the project already has more than 1,500 workers involved in the construction, with more than 97% of them being from Bahia. And here's a detail. CTB has already started work on about 17.9 kilometers of sections 1 and 2, which are expected to be delivered in 2028. Section 1 is expected to be ready in 2027 with VLT testing starting in 2026. However, some are already questioning whether this huge project will really be completed in such a short time, especially considering the reputation for delays that Brazilian projects usually have. Well, in any case, we should wait for more updates about the project. And speaking of updates, how is construction progressing? So before we talk about how the construction is progressing, it's important to highlight how light rail transit works and why it has been adopted in so many cities around the world. The VLT, or light rail transit, is a transportation system that combines the efficiency of a subway with the flexibility of a modern streetcar. It operates on tracks either at ground level or on elevated routes, powered 100% by electricity, which makes it a quiet, economical, and environmentally sustainable option. Unlike traditional subways, light rail transit is designed for short and medium distances with a greater number of stops, allowing for quick boarding directly from the sidewalk, without the need for stairs or elevated platforms. This ensures full accessibility for people with reduced mobility, the elderly, and wheelchair users. In addition, Salvador's light rail system will feature air-conditioned vehicles with panoramic windows and a fully leveled floor, making boarding easier. A modern track system, lower energy consumption, with service every 4 to 6 minutes during peak hours, providing faster service, electronic monitoring, and real-time panels, offering more safety and predictability for passengers. This type of transportation is ideal for regions with heavy traffic, where buses are no longer sufficient, and where the cost and complexity of a subway would be unfeasible. In Salvador, the VLT will help ease the flow in congested corridors, quickly connecting outlying neighborhoods to central areas and to the subway system. And how is construction progressing? The construction of Salvador's VLT officially began in 2024 after a long period of planning, environmental studies, and concession negotiations. The initial focus has been on Section 1, which connects Calçada Station to Ilha de São João. According to the Bahia Department of Urban Development SEDUR, this section already has 18% of the work completed so far. Among the ongoing works are the demolition and cleaning of old tracks and structures from the suburban rail line, installation of new foundations for the light rail track, urban drainage works and railway-based structure, construction of the first station structures in Plataforma, Lubato, and São Brás, setup of the construction site and supply logistics in the Calçada area. The project also includes environmental restoration of the areas along the line, especially in sections bordering All Saints Bay, which adds even more ecological value to the work. The first tests with trains on the initial section are expected to take place between December 2025 and sometime in 2026, with phased deliveries until full completion in 2027. With this, Salvador will be able to count on a modern, reliable, and integrated railway system, something the city has been waiting for decades. When we talk about this type of transportation, it's easy to think that we're just upgrading the old suburban rail system with a more modern look. But the truth is that the Salvador LRT is being designed to compete with some of the best and most integrated light rail transit systems in the world. And in some aspects, it already stands out. At 36.4 kilometers long, the Salvador LRT will be the largest project of its kind under construction in Brazil. And to understand its importance, it's worth comparing it with other cities that have also invested in this transportation model, Rio de Janeiro's LRT. For example, the VLT Carioca is one of the most well-known in the country. With about 28 kilometers of tracks, it operates in the heart of downtown Rio, connecting Santos do Monte Airport, Novo Rio Bus Station, Porto Maravilha, and Central do Brasil. Despite being modern and functional, Rio's LRT faces criticism for the low number of tickets and passengers on some sections, and the lack of efficient integration with other modes of transportation. Unlike the Salvador project, which is already designed with stations integrated with the subway, bus terminals, and a route planned to connect working class and outlying areas, the VLT Carioca is more focused on tourism and the downtown area. In other words, while Rio's LRT addresses transportation within the city center, Salvador's LRT serves a broader social function by connecting distant neighborhoods and democratizing transportation for the entire region. Fortaleza's LRT, another similar project, is located in Fortaleza, which also expanded its LRT system to modernize urban rail transportation. With about 13 kilometers of track, the LRT in the capital of Ceará connects the Parangaba area to the Muxuripe neighborhood, passing through communities and industrial zones. Obviously, this system is more modern and smaller compared to the one in Salvador, but it has already brought positive impacts such as reducing travel time and increasing the value of areas near the stations. While Fortaleza uses the LRT as a complement to public transportation, Salvador is betting on something more ambitious: the main connection corridor between dense urban areas and the metropolitan region. But now, if we look outside Brazil, one of the most notable examples is Bordeaux's LRT in France, with more than 70 kilometers of track, one of the largest and best-rated systems in Europe. It has become a true symbol of a new type of urbanism by perfectly integrating transportation with sidewalks, bike lanes, green areas, and the historic city center. One impressive thing about downtown Bordeaux is that the LRT doesn't use overhead wires. This was a requirement from the population and the historical preservation agencies to protect the urban landscape. To solve this challenge, a system called APS, or Ground Level Power Supply, was implemented. Unlike conventional trains, the Bordeaux LRT receives power directly from the tracks, but in a highly controlled manner. To explain it better, the tracks are divided into small electrified segments. Each segment is only activated at the exact moment the train is on top of it, and this is done through sensors installed on the vehicle itself, which communicate with the track to release the energy instantly. In other words, as soon as the train passes, the track automatically shuts off, ensuring safety for pedestrians, cyclists, and other vehicles that share the urban space. This innovative system was developed by the French company Alstom and allows the light rail system to operate without visually polluting the environment, keeping the historical architecture visible and preserved. Salvador's light rail system, although it doesn't have this type of technology yet, is already moving towards similar urban and social integration, providing connectivity, reducing emissions, and promoting economic development in the neighborhoods it serves. As you can see, the construction of Salvador's light rail system is more than just a mobility project. It's a decisive step toward a more connected and sustainable city, which, when completed, will have the capacity to transport about 100,000 passengers per day. In addition, of course, to revitalizing forgotten urban areas, the transportation will transform the daily lives of thousands of people from Bahia, bringing home, work, leisure, and opportunities closer together. And if you want to follow the progress of the construction, you can check it out on the official website of the government of Bahia, ba.gov.br. Obviously, there are still challenges ahead, but the project is underway, the schedule is moving forward, and Salvador is on its way to becoming one of the benchmarks for modern transportation in Brazil. But what about you? What's your opinion about this project? Do you believe it will actually be completed in 2027? And more importantly, will it really deliver everything that was promised? Share your thoughts below. That's it for now. Take care and see you in the next video.